We're on the border of El Paso, Texas, and Juarez, Mexico. What's really going on? Hi, my name is John Peña with Peña El Paso Realty Group. Thank you so much for checking out the YouTube channel. If you're looking to buy or sell homes in El Paso, we are definitely the realty group you're going to want to talk to. But today, we're going to talk a little bit about the border because I do get tons of questions as a real estate agent about the border, and typically my response is El Paso remains one of the safest cities in the country, and that is still true. But I thought people are interested, so I thought I'd talk a little bit more about it. And so the first thing to talk about is the migrant situation. So behind me is the Greyhound bus station. The border's right behind me. Miguel and I are going to go over there and talk about another thing here in a second to show you that. But essentially, what's happened, what some people think is that El Paso is being overrun by migrants. This is not the case. For instance, when we recently had a big inswell of Venezuelan refugees, we were letting those people in. They were being processed. They were being housed, so they had shelter, food, clothing, and then what was happening with them is that they were being transported to cities like New York, Chicago, and Miami was a big one. Why these cities? Because that's where a lot of these people had family, and if you're coming into you're fleeing a country, entering another one, you're going to go stay with people that you know. And so that was all done, and that was very orderly. We have a massive law enforcement presence here, and that was handled humanely and very efficiently. Now, as you can see, there's absolutely nothing happening because I believe the federal government has put back in place kind of a hold on immigration. So right now, people that are trying to show up at the border, they're being redirected back into Mexico unless they have proper documentation. And so now that is basically, we're not seeing any migrants in the area. So that's kind of the reality of what's happening on our border. It's a very political issue, and so it can be delicate to talk about, but the truth of the matter is that El Paso is not being overrun by migrants. When migrants come to El Paso, they're handled very efficiently and effectively. So let's go someplace else and talk about drugs. Okay, so now we're over at the downtown El Paso Street crossing. This crossing right behind me, this is the border. People can walk over, and then there's also an option for vehicles to travel back and forth. Now, one of the other negative things that does happen on the border is drug trafficking. And so we were looking at some data, and in the last month, Customs and Border Patrol have stopped about 4 people. And so let me explain to you what these folks were trying to do. So in at the Isleta crossing, mind you, there are multiple crossings to get over between the two cities. At the Isleta crossing, 18-year-old man, U.S. citizen, caught with a small amount of trying to smuggle in methamphetamine. Where? In her thighs, all right? Also, a woman trying to smuggle in a very small bit of fentanyl, which is obviously the worst, in her groin area. Bridge of the Americas, another similar situation. Male U.S. citizen trying to bring in meth on his person, in the thighs, and then I forget which crossing this was at, but U.S. woman citizen was trying to smuggle in 17 pounds of meth in a vehicle, in different compartments of the car. Now, all of these people were caught. How? Canines, and trust me, I mean, the Border Patrol, they've been doing this here a long time. It's hard to be sneaky, especially at a crossing like this. It's been around for so long. Like they know a lot of the tricks. And so, yes, people are still trying to smuggle in drugs to to our country, but that should honestly surprise nobody. And the fact that CPB is on it is pretty awesome. So that's the honest truth of what's happening on the border. Yes, migrants at times do come in and get processed and then dispersed out into the country. Yes, that happens because of our location. Yes, people do try to smuggle in things that they shouldn't do. Why? Because they're desperate, right? Desperate people will do desperate things. And so what else is happening on the border, though, in the reality for most El Pasoans is people are going back and forth to work. People are going back and forth to school. People are going into Juarez to go to a market and do this or that or see family. People on the other end are coming into El Paso to see family, but that's really what's happening. But of course, no place is perfect, and so we wanted to try to give you as an honest kind of a snapshot of what's happening on the border right now in El Paso. I hope that that was valuable information for you, and we'll see you next time.